nonprofit communications writing, university teaching, and real estate sales, which is now her primary focus. Over the years, she has encountered a variety of personalities, some of whom may be depicted in her first Tony Jasper murder mystery, Banking on Deceit. The second novel in the series is underway. Who in this room might show up on those pages? Barbara is fortunate to have one intelligent grown daughter and has survived a playful, cool Collie Shepherd canine and several inquisitive feline bosses. Let's welcome Barbara DAndro.
On a dark and snowy December night many moons ago, Ed and Jean Bradbury had a bouncing baby girl, me. Of course, that was very significant. What was also significant is the fact that my parents had been married for 21 years without children. According to my mother, my Chicago business owner, distinguished father, was so excited that he took a crayon and went out to the end of the small town where we lived and changed the population sign from Bannockburn 200 to Bannockburn 201. I wasn't very spoiled at all. At 17, I left Illinois for Dickinson College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, earned a bachelor's degree in art history, and landed in St. Petersburg, Florida. That was in the early 70s, and it seemed like a good idea at that time to earn a real estate license. So I did, was trying to learn the business during the day, working in retail at night. But it wasn't really something that I enjoyed. But I do enjoy writing. So I went back to USF and earned a second bachelor's in creative writing and got a job for the St. Petersburg Times, working in retail advertising, writing special sections, and advertising, editorial style advertising for a number of businesses. It was a great opportunity, but I was young and felt uncomfortable interviewing business owners. The St. Pete Times had a Toastmasters Club. I joined my first Toastmasters Club in 1979. In 1980, I married someone who had been with the Times for a number of years. The Times had a nepotism policy. One of us had to go. So I did some freelance writing, selling articles back to the newsroom at the Times and retail advertising, and worked in public relations for a hospital. I really, really wanted to know more about business. So I left the hospital and went back to USF for an MBA. Made perfect sense, right? My background in education was art history, creative writing. Along the way, I audited one accounting course. What was I thinking? Somehow, it was working out pretty well, but I was kind of bored in the library. So I went out, printed up business cards, took one to my good friend who managed a large doctors group, and she said, "Great, we want a big brochure." That led to another referral, and all of a sudden, my agency took off. So what happens when women are busy in school, busy running a growing business, and think they can't have children? Of course, my daughter was born in June of 1984. All was well until 1991, when the PC revolution disrupted many small businesses, including small boutique agencies like mine, and I had to close the business. So I was back to public relations and communication writing until 2001, when I thought I needed a change. And I saw an ad for the University of Phoenix, and I thought, I can do that, maybe. Amazingly, they hired me and kept me very busy with a nice contract, but it was adjunct work and adjunct pay. So in 2003, I thought, what can I do to increase my income? Aha, that real estate thing. I bet I can do that. So I went back to real estate school. It had been 30 years since I'd earned a license and let it go. Earned my license, and it was a big deal. And I can still remember leaving the testing site, seeing my daughter waiting for me by my car with a big bouquet of roses to celebrate. Things were going well until 2005, 2006, when the University of Phoenix enrollment dropped drastically, my course load was cut in half, and real estate was getting a little funky. A lot of shenanigans were going on up in Washington, for sure. So I got a little panicky. Fortunately, I was able to get on with DeVry University, and I started doing some management consulting and training. The way I promoted that business was to go out and speak to groups about the program and to have a leave behind, or as they say, back of the room sales. I wrote my first book titled Thriving with Positive Attitudes. In 2014, I realized that I was trying to sell real estate then over in Pinellas County, where I still lived, driving to DeVry by the fairgrounds, crossing Howard Franklin, crossing Courtney Campbell, and probably didn't need me. I didn't need Howard Franklin. So I moved over to Lutz and moved my license to a wonderful agency, brokerage, up on Van Dyke, and I am so thrilled to be there with them. That was 2014. All was well. 2015, DeVry closed both campuses in Tampa. Wouldn't you know it? A friend of mine from DeVry, the accounting professor, was writing novels, and he suggested I get back into writing. And he's running the Florida Writers Association group in Carrollwood, so I did. And last year was when I published my first murder mystery, Banking on Deceit. The next one is under progress right now. So I have one final warning for everybody. You all know that in real estate, doesn't exist if it isn't in writing, which is why we have complicated contracts and addendums for this, that, and everything else. In the murder mystery world, we also have something significant in writing. And I brought my significant mug to share with you. It says, please don't annoy the writer. She may put you in a book and kill you. Madam Postmaster.